interest rates rose. That's fine. Pretty crazy.
Hi.
Hi. I'm still waiting to see how bungled you have me on
You
camera.
look great. You look great today, Troy.
Thanks, I don't, but I'm just gonna fix it so it's frame that I want, because you have this weird like top-down insistence on me.
It's your camera.
Yeah, but you have me like zoomed in weird. I like
Yeah.
sit back and.
That's
Anyways,
because I want everyone to see your pretty little face.
no, but you've got me like zoomed in. Like I don't want to use that zoomed in.
Okay. Anyways.
You're like you've got like head and shoulder frame, and you got me in like extreme close up.
Yeah, well, you didn't give me much options. Anyway, welcome everyone to the GlitchFeed podcast. Our whole no viewers right now, but hey, you know, you might be watching on YouTube.
It says 4.
I see 3 right now in chat. So
Well, then how was that? No. Oh, sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter because people will be able to watch this later on YouTube, so it's okay. It's currently Cobot, you, and me.
Oh, well, you know, whatever.
What an intimate party.
People will show if you know what they say, if you stream it, they will maybe show up and watch.
Oh,
Otherwise, they won't.
I forgot that my name has yet to be changed. Okay.
All right, so we're playing Brawlhalla because of the
new update.
Yeah, the new update. Are we playing online? Or are we playing
Yeah, we're gonna play it online.
like regular online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Regular online. Can you hear that?
What?
Mike? I don't know. My parents are watching Christmas videos downstairs.
They're just watching Christmas music.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, the thing is my dad, he loves Jingle All the Way. Like, that is his favorite Christmas movie of all time, Jingle All the Way, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, how do you invite people to matchmaking games?
Usually I just make a game.
Yeah, but like, we're gonna play against each other?
Yeah. 20438.
20438.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if we play against each other, then we can kind of show off some of the cool stuff that's going on. I'm assuming you didn't buy anything new.
No, I don't have money to blow on
You don't have
Brawlhalla of anything. Oh, do I have coins? I got coins out the dick.
They have new skins now, or they have new colors, Christmas colors. See?
Oh, just for
coin.
buying with mammoth coins or regular coins?
Regular coins, 1,500.
Woo!
I'm gonna mute you a little bit. You're a little loud.
Oh, I have. Oh, look at that! Christmas colors.
I don't know. You might have to tell me how loud you are. No one's here to tell me. Yeah, you were really loud before, but yeah, Christmas colors. One for each character, and then there's also Christmas outfits, which I believe I'm wearing the. No, I'm not. Which outfit? Did I buy an outfit yet? 20438. Okay.
Well, look at this. Is this the only thing I can buy with coins? It looks like it.
Yeah.
That seems weird. What are they going to do with the coins? Are for buying heroes, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
those are for.
Well,
Okay, so
not everyone got the special packs like we did. That is all
that's
heroes
what I
all the
meant.
time.
Yeah, well, you could. I think you can still buy that. I think that's still an option.
The thing is about all heroes all the time, is that they are going to be, as they add more heroes, that price is going to go up.
Well, yeah, that
So
makes
buying
sense.
it now is pretty solid.
Oh, hang on, I'm
Jesus
burning through all my
Christ.
coins.
All
Real
right, hold
quick.
on a second. I'm gonna tell him to turn down the TV because I don't want to listen to Christmas music the whole time.
So it looks like it's just you and me, chat. Hey, Captain Amazing. How's everything going? So we're going to talk about some gaming stuff today because we're a gaming news podcast. We had PlayStation Experience the past about 2 weeks ago now. We haven't had a podcast since then, unfortunately. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, just kind of our highlights. If you haven't seen our, even if you haven't seen our summary videos, go watch those. If you haven't seen my live reaction thing, you can go watch that as well. I apologize in advance because I am not the PlayStation guy, and Sarah bummed out on me. So it was just me commenting on things I've never heard of, like Rez and Ni no Kuni, and things that I didn't realize what they were until the end. So I apologize for that. Please stop telling me to quit my job on Facebook and on Twitter.
Captain, how do we sound? How's our sound between the two of us? Because Troy's really loud today.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here, Sarah.
I know you are. You're really excited, and we're talking a lot about PlayStation today. So I know you're trying to redeem yourself.
That's what I was just introing to the crowd. Yeah, we're gonna chat a little bit here. So PlayStation Experience was last weekend. Was it last weekend or 2 weekends ago now?
Last weekend. It was a week ago. It wasn't.
Was it a week ago? Okay.
It was during the week. Sounds fine. Okay, Troy. It is 27128.
27128. Cool.
So yeah, PlayStation Experience was last week. It was a few days. Oh no, it was the weekend. It was a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, it was on a Saturday.
I don't know why I thought it replaced our podcast, but yeah, we worked our butts off last Saturday.
Yeah, I remember that very much.
Yeah, I was like surprised. Hey, let's do some coverage because why not? And so Troy was like, I want to do a live recording, and I'm like, okay, I'll do reaction because I'm dirty and I'm putting up the Hanukkah bush. That's why you got upset about the Hanukkah bush.
Yeah, because you're like, oh no, I gotta go decorate a Christmas tree. I'm like, I thought this whole Jewish thing was a thing. All right, I guess not. So yeah, you kind of bailed on me, and it was just me. And I haven't owned a PlayStation since the PlayStation 1. So I am totally in the dark when it comes to these PlayStation titles. So they were like it was like a huge Uncharted trailer, and I'm like, oh cool. And they're like, that's his brother. And I'm like, oh, all right. I guess that's something.
Oh, there's a story. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't get it either, and I play PlayStation.
Yeah.
I skipped that generation, the PlayStation 3 generation. So like Ni no Kuni and Ni no Kuni and Drake and all that stuff. It's like, well,
hang on a second. Okay, we're good. Sorry. Yeah, like I didn't know what Ni no Kuni was, so I didn't when that came up, I didn't have any idea that's what I was watching until the very end. I'm like, oh, I've heard of this game. It's supposed to be, big, like a big deal.
Well, I mean, like it's by the studio Gabaldi or whatever you say, which people are gonna be pissed off. Yeah, it's by the guy who did like Totoro and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's like part of why a lot of people were excited about the game when it originally was announced, because you knew it was going to be a really pretty game.
Right.
And so I didn't play it because I don't have a PlayStation 3, and they didn't make it like PlayStation 4 was out, and they decided they wanted to just do PlayStation 3, which was frustrating because I really wanted to play that game because
that really came out at the end of the lifespan of the PlayStation.
It did, yes, and it's frustrating because I love RPGs, and I just know that was going to be like one of those really pretty RPGs. Did you lose your jumps there?
No, you can't. You can't do the up Y to get your extra jump.
Yeah, that's
because the fucking snowballs are in your hand 100% of the time.
Well, think about playing this as 8-player, and you have teams. If only people would play games with us.
I'm so used to using that third jump.
Use your dodge.
Like that. Yeah, but I only get one of those. Like.
Oh yeah.
You get 2 extra like Y jumps, and I used to use those to like horizontal. Oh. But I'm also bad at Brawlhalla, so I'm not surprised I'm losing.
Right, but
so Ni no Kuni.
That was Ni no Kuni was on there. We saw more about Final Fantasy VII, which the remake, they just showed a trailer, and then we found out more about it like the next day. Like they were like, hey, here's a cool trailer. You saw a bit of Midgar. It looked really cool because usually in Midgar you go down like a full line, and in this one it showed you kind of doing the whole Final Fantasy 13 slash Final Fantasy 15, navigating through like tight spaces
Yeah,
and
and I think it showed off a little bit of like the new updated combo or combat system, which looks and I played a little bit of 13 on the Xbox. It looks like Final Fantasy 13, like the active combat thing.
I think it's
Where
also more like Final Fantasy 15 too. It might be a mix between the two. Like it's more
yeah,
because Final
15's one that
Fantasy
hasn't come out yet. Yeah,
yeah, 13
yeah, yeah.
was more of a you had like a set line, and 15 was more of an open, completely open, do combos like just general open fighting style,
Like
which
Kingdom Hearts style.
yeah, which is what Final Fantasy's become now, and a lot of people hate that. People
Yeah,
like the active
that's
time gauge, all that stuff, the classic RPG, but the capabilities of RPGs now permit you to
do that in real time
yeah,
almost.
real time fighting, be more engaging. People complain about like um they complain about linear type fighting, but they kind of open up that and it's just like I don't know. It's people are all pissy about it, but it looks really pretty and it looks very immersive, and I think that's the reason why they introduced a GG. They introduced the multiple phases, and they said at first it was episodic,
Episodic, yeah.
but I don't think it's going to be episodic. I think it's going to be like 13, where essentially it's going to be like Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns, Final
Oh,
Fantasy 13
no, I
too.
don't think that's gonna be the case at all because they have a set storyline with 7. They have the
Right,
story
they
of
do, but
7
so the
to
same
get.
thing. Well, I mean, like the same thing with 13 is it's not going to be like episodic, like freaking Tales or Game of
Tales from the
Thrones.
Borderland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
or
terms of the
yeah.
Borderline land stuff, where it's just like there's a really short part and they have release episodes in really small parts. I think it's going to be a full length story with 40 hours of gameplay, and then there's going to be
I don't
like a
know.
part two, part three.
I think they kind of sold me with that, with the whole like, look at how different it is going to be with like how much content we're kind of changing and adding. Um,
Right, and that's why they're going to probably they already had a long list of stuff, so it's going to be really long games. It's not when episodic to me is like 10 hours, and I don't think
no,
it's going to be that
I
way.
think it would make sense. No, I don't think it'll be either. I think there'll be long, cohesive episodes, but I think they'll be more.
Pirates
I
of the
think they'll be.
Caribbean.
No. I'm thinking like the actual discs from the PlayStation.
Right,
Like
right, right. So
the
it's
disc one, disc two, disc. I think it was 3 discs. I think so. If they broke it up into say 3 episodes and one being
that's
each disc,
yeah,
and
that's what I'm
I
saying.
remember correctly, they had it like. I also didn't finish Final Fantasy 7, but the discs I feel like had like logical stopping points. Maybe
You're in
I
charge.
don't.
Can you change
I
it
mean,
to
oh, I'm
regular?
sorry.
Can you change it to regular fighting so we can do Christmas colors?
Yeah, timed or stock.
It doesn't matter either way. It's just us.
Oh, okay. Um,
But yeah, no, it's I think, and that's what I'm kind of arguing is that there's no. It's kind of like I see Pirates of the Caribbean or Lord of the Rings movies where it's like a really long immersive storyline and they come to an epic like they you beat a boss and then they come to this climax and they calm down, but there's still more of the story to accomplish.
no,
So they
I
get to
agree.
a
I
good
think
point where it can stop, but then it's like they're adding all this extra story. I mean, in the main story itself, they're adding a bigger world for you to explore, which is going to take more time. And then they're adding all this extra like DLC additional content to explore outside of the story you remember, which
well,
is
right
even
because
more stuff.
well, I mean, like each. I mean, think about the Final Fantasy 7 like original release. It was all just kind of like one matte background, one JPEG, and you walked around on top of it.
It was very
Uh,
small. It was like
Yeah, it was a
two,
picture, and you
yeah.
walked around one thing on top of it. Whereas this is a full 3D environment, so they have to basically redo all of Final Fantasy VII in this new engine. So they have to create a Final Fantasy length game while also creating another one. The only benefit is they don't have to write a new story. They already have the story kind of, it's already written.
Right, the
And
main
battles and
story.
everything. Yeah,
But
right.
they're gonna add more, which is gonna be really exciting. What is this? Oh,
Oh, this is new.
oh.
Or at least I've never seen it.
No, but I agree. And so I think it's episodic. Using the word episodic makes me think like
Tales from the Borderlands or
yeah,
something
like
where
they
it's
see things Telltale
cliffhanger-y,
games,
like
but
a show.
it's not going to be that. It's going to be more like parts, like part one, part two, part three, full story, steady like plot. It's not going to just cut you off. Something's going to happen, but it's going to be like I think it's got to be at least 30 to 40 hours per episode.
You
I
would
would
think so.
assume because I'm assuming based on how they did Lightning's Returns and how successful Lightning Return was, they're probably going to do a full game.
Yeah, but 13 on its own was a standalone title. You didn't need that Lightning Returns to kind of sell the
But
extra.
I think that's what they're going to do. That's what I'd argue. I think they're not going to go that route of it's only going to be a 2-hour game or 10-hour
No,
game.
no, 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 no. Final Fantasy 13 was not a 10-hour game either.
Because their excuse is that there's too much content to be on one disc, and that's why they're releasing episodes. So to me, it doesn't mean they're going to cheat their episodes by making them shorter. It means that they're going to have, if a Final Fantasy is like 40 hours at least, an average RPG, that means it's going to be a 40-hour story, and then there's going to be another 40-hour story, and there's going to be another 40-hour story.
Sure. I think it also allows them to release, what?
I said each episode's going to be like 40 hours.
Well, I think it's more the development cycle of it. It's they can release a fully fleshed out 3D game without excuse me, without like taking the time to release every part of a full 3D game like that.
Right, but do you agree that the episodes are going to be long or not?
Yes, I've said that.
Because I feel like I'm arguing and you're just
time.
like, yes, but, and I'm like, what do you mean, but?
I'm arguing that they're not going to be like Final Fantasy Lightning Returns, where that was a whole separate game on top of the game.
No, but
they're going to be
but
full-length Final Fantasy game when you combine all the parts.
Right, but when I mean Lightning Returns, I know it's not going to be the same plot. I'm just saying is that Lightning Returns, like a trinity like that, was very successful with the same character. So it's going to be the same feel, but the story is going to be the same across all. Like you said, the story is going to be the same. It's just going to cut off at a good point. Whereas Lightning Returns was, oh, we fucked up 13. Let's add 13 too. People like it. Let's talk about Lightning now.
Okay.
Where it was like the stories didn't make sense because it was like, hey, here's 13. Now let's time travel.
All right, I'm with you then.
I don't know if you played. Did you play 13?
I didn't. No, I didn't even. I've played 13. I didn't finish it because it was 90 hours long, and I don't have that kind of time in my life.
I did.
But I played most of it, and I felt that where it was going was a logical conclusion. I don't think they needed 2 other games.
Yeah,
that being said, I played 10, and I played 10-2 on a borrowed PS2, so I know what kind of their idea is with those episodic, not episodic.
But even with 10-2, it's like it feels like you said, it feels like 2 different games, whereas this one won't. 10-2 was completely different.
It's like a movie in that, look at the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. You could have ended that entire series after 1 movie, but they made 2 more.
Yeah, 10
same thing with
sense.
Star Wars. Same with the original Star Wars. You could have ended the first Star Wars series on Star Wars: A New Hope, but they made 2 more.
And then they made 3 more, and then they made another one.
And now they're making 20 more. But that's my point. I think the 10-2 and the whatever the 10-3, if they end up doing one of those, or the 3 games of Lightning series and then Final Fantasy 13 series, those were separate ideals than what they're doing here.
Right, right, definitely. I think with at least 13 is that 13 was by itself, and then 13-2 and Lightning Returns were their own arc of Lightning becomes this goddess and they travel through time and all this stuff happens. It was very weird story.
I'll take your word for it.
It was very weird how they separated it, but I think it's because they were scrambling to redeem themselves after everyone hated it. So sure. A lot of people were pleased with 13-2. So speaking of more Final Fantasies, by the way, if anyone wants to play, this is open.
The room code's right there.
27128. Please play. Otherwise, we're just gonna sit here derping around. But so speaking of Final Fantasy and games and stuff, I mean, Final Fantasy VII, the original PC port came out for PlayStation, and then today I believe Final Fantasy VI Remastered came out.
It was this week, I believe.
I think it's today.
Might have been today.
Yeah.
Good chance it was today.
Yeah, and
it's that or yesterday. I don't know. My days are blending together right now. But yeah, so they released Final Fantasy VI, which they announced. Did they announce it at PSX? I feel like.
I don't know. It was very. I think
they announced it around PSX.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But
yeah, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, I think they announced it before. Or they were expecting it because it was a remaster, and it's an HD remaster. But the big deal is that, well, it's more of a crappy remaster. It looks like an iOS game.
Well, it is. I think one of the things that people were saying was, what was it, that one, or maybe this is the one that got released during PSX. There was a PlayStation, the port of it was they used the mobile port, the shitty remastered mobile port. I'll have to dig that up after this match, but this might be it.
I don't think it was this because it hadn't come out yet.
Maybe I'm thinking of Final Fantasy IV then.
Probably.
Because I think that also just released on PC recently. If someone can confirm that, it'd be awesome. So
Say
I'm
it's a
an
port of a
idiot.
mobile version.
Yeah, it's the port of yeah, it's port of the mobile version. Thank you.
But the thing
Um,
is that the way they did it is that they basically took this game, it was very pixelated, and they updated the graphics, but they
yeah,
didn't anticipate that these pixel graphics, like, it was like a straight, hey, here's the graphics, we're going to enhance them, and it'll be fine. And the problem was is that it wasn't fine. First off, the game itself isn't the proper dimensions, so instead of adding black bars to the side like most
they
games will,
stretch.
they stretched it,
Yeah,
which caused some issues. And then the second thing
of
is that
course.
there's like the original game has a lot of lazy pixels essentially,
Yeah,
where they just blurred it because it's pixelated. Doesn't matter.
yeah, it's
But
on a tiny mobile device.
yeah, but when you expand it, it's like suddenly there's literally
Bring
like
it
a
into these
glitched
4K
line.
monitors. Yeah,
So it's like people are pissed about that. And then in general, the quality of the graphics just looks very lazy. Like there was an article doing an HD remake right of Final Fantasy VI where he essentially is like, well, here's better ideas of how you could have enhanced the graphics.
they actually redone the sprites and everything,
Yeah, like
rather than upscaling your mobile version, which I understand they spend a lot of time on. So they want to use the most like programmatically updated version. I'm sure they fixed a lot of bugs or something, but they did that while also using the same assets, which is not smart to do, especially when you're talking about from mobile to PC. Now, if they had said they had a PlayStation port and used that like a PlayStation 4 port, that would have been fine. But they did not do that. They
well,
used the iOS versions.
and they should have like they said, oh, it's a remake, and you're just sitting there like, why didn't you
Mm,
just keep the original game at this point?
yeah, you could have released the original game. We would have been fine with that. It would have been better than what you gave us.
Exactly. And so this is the same issue that a lot of people are having. Like they essentially said, because at PlayStation X, or right before PlayStation X, they announced 6 games or 8 games coming to PlayStation
Suicide.
that basically
I've been
it
practicing.
was. I'm not even
Sorry.
paying attention because we're playing. So say GG. So if you guys want to join the game, I'm just gonna leave it up for a second. So it's like the 3 GTAs, Dark Cloud, which I've been playing, and a few other classic PlayStation 2 games, where they basically said we've enhanced it to be on the PlayStation 4. And a big argument for that became, well, don't play it on the PlayStation 4, play it on the PC, because it's just a port, and the port's not going to be great.
Right.
And so that was a big argument a lot of people had. The only issue I've had with Dark Cloud so far is that there's just like a strip of dead pixels every so often that just kind of freaks out. But otherwise, it's like the exact same game, which is what I want. But if they had enhanced it, which they might have done with like GTA or like Final Fantasy IV, which has been enhanced so many times, that's where you become the issue of, is it a good enhancement or is it better to leave nostalgia? And I think in
Right.
6, it should have been left as nostalgia because they messed it up. They did not do a good job.
No, yeah, I think they cut a lot of corners. They were kind of trying to. It feels like they're trying to push out a PC version, um, and they went with, like I said, they went with one that they've already updated, but they didn't really update properly, I guess.
Right. The article was, for all those that are watching after, I linked it in the chat. But the article itself is doing an HD remake the right way, Final Fantasy V edition, and it's by Fortress of Doors. And he's done these types of articles before where he's kind of identified the issues and kind of his solution in terms of like the SNES, the remake is a bilinear filter. And he's like, why not do native pixels? Or why not do a downscale plus that where it kind of looks more clean? Like the bilinear
Yeah,
filter just looks very smudged.
yeah. This is the exact game I was talking about. This exact Final Fantasy game where it was the port version. So I'm just reading like the details out now. Yeah, and they did the exact same thing with Final Fantasy V, using the mobile version port to kind of cut corners and put the Steam version out.
I do
Um,
like the jokes though that came out. Like one guy put the Jesus picture. It's like Super NES version is this Jesus picture. Game Boy
right.
Advance is the broken Jesus picture, and then iOS, Android, Steam is the
The one
person
that
that tried
someone
to fix it.
retouched. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Back
not,
in
you
back
know.
in 2014. Yeah, I remember that.
That was fun. I don't know what if people can even join in. No. So
What?
otherwise, so like for example, I guess we could talk about Dark Cloud and that experience. So The PlayStation, I think, is they're kind of competing with the whole backwards compatibility when they announced the virtual console, essentially, of old PlayStation 2 games that you could repurchase
Yeah.
and play on the PlayStation 4. And they started with these 8 games. They've kind of done this before, but they started with these 8 big games. The GTA collection of like GTA, San Andreas, Vice City. I don't know if it was 4, it's on there too. I think it was only 3. Dark Cloud and all these other games, and it was about $15 each. So it's not backwards compatibility because it's a lot of discs, so you don't have the downloads.
Right.
But I mean, essentially, if you bought something on the PlayStation 3 with a digital console with the same account you buy it on the PlayStation 4, you can cross-play anyway.
That's good.
Usually,
That's nice.
with a lot of these games. So that was a fun thing they announced at PSX. What else did they announce at PSX before we move on?
They did a whole VR segment, which we can talk about a little bit later.
Was that my
What else?
video? Did I
That
do
was
that?
your video. They had a bunch of third party announcements. I'm just trying to think like of breakdowns of our videos. Let's see.
There's a lot of the third party announcements, which I think you had.
I had that one. So I'm trying to run through in my head what they
Um,
had. Big Res for some reason is a big deal. Um, I wish I knew more about it. I don't.
a lot of the big
Street
games
Fighter.
were nothing really that big in my opinion. Like I get it, like Final Fantasy VII was huge, but there's no big like, hey, there's a new game coming out. Let's announce this great game. The Nino Kuni was pretty big.
Yeah, that
Um,
was pretty big. I think they got a lot in the pipe right now. I think they have Uncharted 4. They've got the new Street Fighter game. They've got and so they have a couple things kind of coming out, so they can push those a little bit. And then Nino Kuni is kind of their first wave of their new games. Like they already announced things like Last Guardian and stuff at.
I wish they would have shown more though. But I mean, like
Yeah,
the in
they had an
production,
opportunity.
yeah, the in production ones. Like I wish I would have seen more of Horizon Zero Dawn, or Last
Sure.
Guardian. Just kind of like Final Fantasy, where they showed a new extended trailer. Even if they would have just shown a trailer of a different area, like I would have liked to see that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I totally agree.
but
But
they
they didn't.
didn't.
Yeah,
But they
that's true.
didn't. So it was okay. I think a lot of the exciting things, like for example, Adult Swim games, that was pretty cool to see because for
Yeah, they had a
example, Duck
bunch of new
Game,
games.
this game,
Oh yeah.
this game was announced coming to PlayStation. Brawlhalla,
Oh
the
yeah,
one we're
that's right.
playing.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Duck Game.
No, Duck Game is. Have you played Duck Game?
I haven't. No, I don't
I've
think so.
watched it. It looks. I need to. I want to buy it on PC. It's really funny. It's just It's kind of like iDarb. Go around
I
and
do
kill
like
everyone.
I do like iDarb. I am a fan of iDarb.
It's like you go through like 50 levels. It's just kill everyone. Everyone die. Like one life. Kill everyone. You have random weapon generation. First
Yeah,
person to hit it, kind of shoot them up. Quick through the levels. Get points for that. Just a fun
yeah.
chaos game.
That would be fun. I would play that. I think.
Yeah, they have a few
Um,
other really like the Adult Swim ones were really pretty. There was one that looked like Slayer or whatever that the game we played at
uh,
RTX.
uh, was it? No, it wasn't Slayer. It was I actually looked it up because I had the exact same thought. God, it was something. It was like a one word kind of
With an
metally
S.
sound. Yeah. No, I'll stop. No, I don't know. I'll look it up later.
Yeah,
Um,
I know we're brain farting, but it looked
God, yeah, yeah. It looked identical to it, kind of pixelated and like gothic-y kind of graphics and style. So, yeah,
There's-
it was almost identical to that
yeah.
one.
There was another one that was inspired by Limbo, I think, like the giant beast kind of side-scrolling, go
Yeah.
through, fight everyone. Forgot.
Yeah, they had that, and they had that. The Double Fine is actually making another game with them as well. It's the head one.
Oh yeah, I saw videos about that. The head case or whatever, where basically
Yeah.
essentially the Double Fine's been talking about that. It's you have your head, but you actually jump bodies.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
you're
dead.
kind of like you're like a
Yeah,
disembodied.
you're a robot, so if you can't accomplish something, your head can go to another body, and it has
Yeah.
different abilities. So it's kind of like the Kirbyization, I guess, of a game, where it's like,
Sure.
do what you need to do.
Yeah, it's modular almost. My thought was you kind of like you pick whatever will work best in the situation kind of thing.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's funny because Adult Swim games has always been like Flash games is what I remember them as. Has always been the robot unicorn attack or whatever game and making mobile games, and now they're actually like making a step into
They're
kind of the
actually
indie game.
producing games.
Yeah, Well, they're becoming a production house. So like they even said, like they're bringing in indie devs to kind of build their games and to give them kind of a structure in which to build their games, which I think is the next logical progression. So you have these AAA studios who are building AAA games, and you have indie devs who struggle to kind of make it on their own. It only seems logical for like one company to grab a bunch of them and say, all right, you come here, you make your game, you slap our name on it, and we'll make sure you're secure in your business.
And there's still there's kind of companies that are like basically like a just I don't
The
know if it's like an
publishers.
publisher kind of thing.
Basically publishers,
Yeah,
where
which
they'll promote and do all your marketing and everything for you, but they yeah, but the Adult Swim I've been reading into is a little more, in depth. They're more in a house feel,
and
which is cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
Really
the thing about Adult Swim is they've always been the same way with their shows too. Like, it wouldn't make sense if Adult Swim's like, we're just gonna make our own games. Like, their shows too are kind of like a bunch of different themed, stylized shows that just kind of come to them, and the house is Adult Swim. It's the we are here at Adult Swim with all of these different types of shows, like
Right.
Rocket
They
Chicken
bring
and
in
everything.
they bring in the good talent to do what they do best and be creative, and that's what they do.
And their name's their biggest asset too. It's like Adult
Right.
Swim is known for a specific type of thing. If they can get
Yeah.
games in the same way, they're gonna be fine. The people that are under that house they're gonna be fine too. Just a really good partnership,
Yeah, it
essentially.
is. And like I said, it gives indie devs some security. They don't have to worry about staking it all, on this game. They can they have an environment that kind of helps them develop and helps them kind of, do what they need to do to succeed,
So
which is good.
do you think like an indie dev, like for example, No Man's Sky, getting under the house of a AAA Sony, does that like kind of, because indie is all about small in-house, small group of team, kind of producing an intimate, creative, unique mindset, like they create a new project. Do you
Sure.
think it hurts sometimes? Like, and I know Sony's kind of trying really hard not to be that way, but it hurts sometimes if an indie team is kind of consumed by this big group. While it does help with the money, but like the direction and everything they have to do at that point can be
I
impact.
I don't think so. I think especially with PlayStation, what they're doing is they're letting developers be themselves. They're giving indie devs the tools, and they're helping them promote with things like the PlayStation Plus kind of promotions and being able to offer their games to a big network. I mean, look at Rocket League. That is a rightfully an indie game in its own regard, even though they've had a couple of games in the past, but it's an indie game that became hugely popular partly on the back of PlayStation Plus and the promotion.
That's different than what I'm trying to claim though, because they're kind of like a partnership too. They didn't get money, essentially. Like PlayStation
Oh,
did not pay
you're
them.
worried. I see what
I'm
you're
thinking
saying.
about
You're
No
worried
Man's
about-
Sky, which clearly, I mean, that's one of the ones from what stands out to me that has more funding from Sony. That's how they succeed. They wouldn't really be able to
Sure.
get their identity without being funded and create this big world. And there's not a lot of them. There's
yeah,
not a lot of
I'm
examples of
struggling
that.
to think of another one that does that. I was
Because
going to
they're
say
no
something
longer
like,
indie. I think that's the
Right.
point, is that they no longer have that feel of being independent at that point. I'm joining Double Fine / this partnership, or I'm joining Level 5 in this partnership. Level 5 has the name, they fund it. And then
Right.
it's like this sub studio that no one really notices because they've kind of been consumed at that point, versus a true indie game or indie developer studio like Blue Mammoth and Brawlhalla.
I'm thinking the only one I can think of in that kind of regard is more like Crystal Dynamics, where it's a little bit bigger of a studio, and they're making more AAA games, but they are comparatively small, and they entered into basically a exclusive partnership with Microsoft to offer the game a year early, and it kind of, we see where that kind of got them a little bit, but I don't know. You can kind of see it both ways. I think No Man's Sky is bullshit, so I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, I think there's risk that you might your fans might think you're selling out a little bit, maybe, to use that kind of old school term, by going with a big name publisher. But again, it offers developers a lot of pluses that they can't ignore. Security and guaranteed sales and promotions from that kind of console.
Right. So I guess we'll kind of keep moving on and talk about the next big announcement thing, moving from PSX. I'm just here to talk, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. I am not doing well, but hey, I'm getting some coins, and that's all that matters. I'm almost up to another skin that I can buy, or another color set. But so another big kind of announcement off of PSX was the final Smash Direct. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
I thought it was
good.
pretty funny with that.
Was there anything else in PSX that we want to talk about? VR?
No, I mean we can talk about VR in a little bit.
All right,
I kind of
let's
want
do
to
it.
talk about Smash,
Okay, yeah. All right, I see it.
especially since we talked about Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. All right.
And we can
Good,
go back
good
on
stuff.
VR later because I
Okay.
have a funny story of something I saw
So
about
Smash Bros.
Christmas shopping. So yeah, the final Smash Direct that is it's the last video that they're ever going to do covering Smash. I'm sure there's going to be other stuff released, but they're not going to dedicate a 33-minute video for
Yes.
Nintendo Direct anymore towards that. But in that
Yes.
Direct we saw, and I think they actually said these were the final 3 characters they're adding.
I think that's what they said too. I don't know that they're gonna add more
I
characters
could
to the.
I could see him adding more Mii costumes, but the way they kind of described it was that apparently like, oh, we have an AFK. I'll be nice and not attack you.
That's me.
Okay, so the interesting thing about
Shit. Well,
how they've
whatever.
been doing Smash is that they talked about how a lot of companies, studios, produce games with DLC attached. For example, Fallout. They already pretty
Yeah.
much have started their DLC season pass. They know what to expect. Or like The Witcher, Hearts of Stone, all that stuff. We knew what to expect almost instantaneously on release. With
Yeah.
Smash is that they released the game and then they started producing DLC after. New characters, new costumes, new everything. I'm sure they use the same models or whatever, like the basis, but they didn't sit there thinking, we're going to have Mewtwo ready immediately, or we're going to have
Right.
this character ready. So
Yeah.
for the last year, they've added X amount of characters. They've added a bunch of new amiibos. They've added a bunch of new, and these characters aren't just reskins. They actually have their unique traits.
Right.
And so the final 3 were announced this week.
Yeah, and one of them obviously was Cloud that we knew about.
We knew
That
about.
was a long time kind of coming. Well, not long time, but more recently coming.
He was announced as one of the fan picks, so I didn't really expect
Yeah.
more fan picks to come out of this announcement. But
Yeah, a lot of
Cloud-
people. A lot of people said like, oh, there's gonna be more, and a lot of people also doubted that. Like they announced Cloud at Nintendo on their Nintendo Direct. That
Right.
was everyone thought was gonna be it.
Then they today announced 2 new characters. Corrin
Yes.
from from Fire Emblem Fates, which
Yes.
I'm excited about that game. I don't really care about him being a character, but I'm excited to play him or her when I get the game.
You know how I feel about it. Yeah, it's another one of the player character like created characters, so you can actually play as the male and female version of the character, which is kind of
Right.
nice.
But
So
what
like
was,
Robin did that
yeah.
in
In
Brawl
Smash,
right now,
or
or in
Brawl.
Smash right now.
Yeah. And what's nice is they acknowledge they're like, we wanted to do this upcoming production game. We thought that Korn would be the most appropriate of the characters. So
Yeah.
it kind of was a nod to, like, it was a smart thing of, hey, let's promote this game as we go.
Right.
And obviously the amiibo when it comes out is also going to have probably cross features as well.
Sure.
But so Corrin is, I guess, based on the lore of the game, is very dragon blood, dragon transformation, very fast. His abilities basically enhance his reach, his range, his strikes. Turns into a
Yes.
giant dragon during his smash. Can pin people
Yes.
down with dragon stuff. Just very kind of a trickery type guy, which was cool. He doesn't come with extra stage, but
Right. They
he's
have
a
enough
cool
Fire Emblem
character.
stuff.
Yeah. Comes with music though, some cool music. I more would just get excited because I'm gonna play with him a lot when the game comes out.
I bet you're gonna play with him.
Yes, I will, or her. I don't know.
Or her.
I usually play
Hey.
girls because I usually play girl first, then switch to boy because I'm like, this girl would be fun to romance, and I want to
funny
make a
'cause
kid.
I do the opposite. I do the guy first, then I go back and play the girl character. Fallout right now is my current one where
You started a new
play
game.
my. I have not, but it's my to do is
Oh.
my second play. I'm gonna just fuck around in.
You gonna be a
We'll
drug
talk about
addict?
Fallout. Yeah, I'll talk about Fallout a little bit later
Okay.
if we have time. But yeah, so that was the second character, and of course the big character. I think the more surprising character to be added to the game is
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
But first,
Yeah.
before we go into her, can we just say Cloud has a kind of a sound pack influenced by the game, and we'll talk about his stage later. But he has a lot of nods to Final Fantasy VII, very true to the game in his playstyle.
Yeah, he gets I think he gets his summons at some point, like the Final Fantasy summons, right? Something
I'll
like that.
explain that stage. Yeah. Do you want me to explain it
Okay.
now?
Yeah, go ahead and explain it now before we go into Bayonetta.
It's another stage, kind of like the Pokemon stage was in Brawl.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
Where
the
where you
ultimates come by in the back.
you collect materia, summon materia, that floats around kind of like a smash ball. When you collect it and use it, it summons a character that impacts the field more than it impacts the player, and you get
Yeah.
points for what they do. So, for example, you can summon Ifrit, and he does a giant fireball that tilts the floor. But if you get hit in that fireball, you get points. You can get Leviathan summoning a wave. I believe it's Odin that slashes everyone in
Yep.
half.
He's
So
got big
there's
ol'
a few
axe.
other guys, yeah. So it's a cool field, and it's very, yes, Final Fantasy. If you want to talk about Bayonetta though,
Yeah, well, I mean, as much as I know, I obviously never played Bayonetta. I don't have a Wii U.
it's a weird
Uh,
game.
is it?
It's very
I've watched a
weird.
lot of people play it.
Yeah, there's a huge fandom around it, but it's very strange with the hair and the demons and how she gets naked, but she has hair all over her body and her hair keeps growing. I don't understand it, but it's
Okay.
interesting. The game is interesting, and I think
Sure.
that they really nailed her with how she's created and how she looks in the game, her
High standards in the
abilities.
brawl. Yeah, she's got a huge fandom. A lot of people are very, I don't know, not put off, but like confused at why Bayonetta was thrown in. Um,
Yeah, like they said, she was, and this is to note, is that she was the most voted, like perceivable, like character that they're able to put in the system. So yes, people have asked for other characters more logically than that, but probably
well,
due to
I'm
licensing.
surprised that like Cloud got added. Like that's in Ryu even. Like I'm surprised at the ones they have added. Like I would never have thought they would have been on there before. Kind
It's
of
smart.
Nintendo properties.
It's
Well,
so
it's smart,
smart. Yeah.
but when you mention things like licensing, like Ryu and Cloud both come from another system. Like yeah, kind of Super Nintendo was and Nintendo were their first property for Final Fantasy and Street Fighter, but like it's still nowadays they are PlayStation titles, and you see these guys on. Did I just get a triple KO? Oh,
Yeah, you
fuck
did.
yeah. Wave dash. But yeah, like those are PlayStation properties, and to have them on Wii U and 3DS in their form is kind of not remarkable. Yeah, remarkable, I guess is even the word for the property.
Right. But with
So
that,
so
they did
adding
say there were
Bayonetta
other
doesn't
ones.
surprise me. Yeah, oh yeah,
but
there's probably
they
other
did
ones
say
like
there were other ones that were more than Bayonetta. So I know a lot of people asked for. What was the big one people asked for?
Goku, I think. I feel like Goku. I heard a lot of buzzing about. Like, I want Goku in it now. Knuckles, I think. I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of like Sonic requests.
Yeah, which
Sonic.
I guess the thing about, I mean, they kind of did a nod to Knuckles where they were like, you can dress up as Knuckles.
Yeah, they gave him the Mii costume.
But I'm sure they did a lot of like things where they like looked at the top choices and were like, which one makes the sense conceptually? Which one isn't a lot like another character, so it's really unique? And Bayonetta is super unique. She controls time. She can summon demons. She has
Yeah, I looked at one of her. I think
guns.
one of her down smashes, like, or down special. I think, like, slows down the other player. She did it with like a Pikachu side headbutt thing, and it was she like sidesteps it and slows it down. It was kind of
Yes,
fun
but
to watch.
if she's too late to do that, it activates a warp as well. And
Yeah.
like any attack she does, she's a combo person. She can make endless combos essentially with her guns, no matter where she's attacking.
I got another triple KO.
So it's just like she just adds a lot of new concepts versus like someone from Street Fighter would be like, oh, it's essentially the same thing as Rio. You know, like it's another combo person. Like I think they wanted to finish the last three with three very unique characters.
Very different characters. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What's funny is the last. Well, nah. The Fire Emblem guy doesn't matter. Yeah. If you take the Fire Emblem one out, they actually end it in kind of three similar themes to their Mii heroes. Which, if you haven't played Smash, you can add one of your Miis as a fighter, and you can add them as one of three types: a fighter, a brawler, like a gunner, and a swordsman kind of thing, duelist kind of thing. And like,
Is that what they did? No, they have two swords.
yes, they kind of did. Well, yeah, they had two swords. If you take out Fire Emblem and add Ryu into there, you have your brawler, your gunner, and your duelist. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
You mean just a
me.
brawler and a gunner, or a swordsman
And-
and a gunner? There's no brawler.
If you add Ryu into the mix.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, like
Whatever.
Ryu, for example, was so unique where he basically could use the same commands as the original game.
Yeah, he used the combos.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fucking awesome. I thought it was a totally crazy way to introduce him to the game.
Right. So it's just like it's they did a really great job of creating a unique scenario, so it didn't feel like a cop out. That was the big thing. And a lot of people, some people are like, oh, why Bayonetta? But if you look at, like, she's going to mess with a lot of people at the end of the day. She
Sure.
does a lot of nasty stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it went well. The Bayonetta also has, her level isn't as crazy as the others. It kind of floats around, but it's not as crazy as Midgar is. They added a bunch of new Mii fighter costumes, and they also introduced the concept of, hey, you can use this QR code to recreate the Mii fighters to look like what we designed them as, because we know we made them look really well done.
Yeah.
So they kind of did a little fan nod to that. And at the end, it was really sweet. I really liked the little sign off where he's like, we've done like 60 characters, we've done like 100 Mii costumes, we have all these trophies, and it's like, everything has been about the characters, about you guys. We love this. Thank you so much. This is it. This is the last Smash Direct. I'm interested to see what they go from here, because they basically acknowledge like, this is the first Nintendo DLC game, pure DLC game.
Pretty
Mario
much,
Kart
yeah.
has it too, but this was revolutionary. Like, it was just,
Yeah.
Nintendo never has done DLC like this before, where they essentially take a game and introduce twice as many characters after the game's out.
Right.
So it was just really, and I think the success with this game is why Mario Kart became successful, and then they started using DLC and like, or even downloadable content from the amiibo in other systems. Like Smash was the revolutionary for Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think
Totally.
about it.
I know they absolutely were. They, like you said, they changed the conversation at Nintendo. So yeah, that was the last Nintendo Smash Direct, which is a little sad. I don't think they'll stop making content.
No, they're going to keep doing directs because they like to feature other stuff. But this is they
No,
started
no,
doing
Smash
quite a few.
Direct.
Yeah,
Smash
I mean,
Direct
that's what I'm saying.
specifically.
Like, they did a lot of focus on Smash. They're going to probably go back to the whole,
The regular Direct.
let's talk about Fire Emblem and explain
it's
Fire
about-
Emblem, despite that game being out already.
But it's not out already. It's not out till February in English. I don't speak Japanese.
I can't play Japanese games on my DS. My DS is gathering dust as it
I
waits
think
for
it
me to
actually.
get that
I
game.
think I don't think it's region locked anymore. I don't think the 3DS is region locked.
Oh,
In
don't
fact,
know,
I
got
think
the
I looked
first
into
one.
this.
I think I might.
I looked into this.
I don't have the new 3DS.
I don't think any of them are. I feel like I looked into this the last time we talked about.
You
Fire
had to
Emblem.
make sure to see if it was worth picking up.
Well, it was one of those like I've see people playing it already, and I think I don't think they're region locked. I googled it.
Learn Japanese.
Do we? Yeah, right. That's easy. So yeah, that comes out in February. By the way, if anyone's wondering.
Oh my God, so much stuff comes
Seriously.
out in February. I'm so ready.
Oh,
My
so
body is
what else
ready.
coming out? What else is coming out in February?
I think they haven't really talked about it, but Hyrule Warriors is coming out soon.
Oh my God, yeah, that has to come out. Oh, I'm gonna be playing my 3DS so much.
I know, right? And then we'll be able to street pass at PAX East. It's gonna be great.
God, the convention street passing is the worst. It is the worst.
It's
time.
yeah, because they block you out. I don't know if they do it anymore. I don't think they do, but you have to like check every 5 minutes.
Yeah, or else you don't get street passes for like an hour.
So speaking of a really cute kind of direct, I would call this the Sony Direct that happened today. Sony kind of took a nod out of Nintendo when they announced the big partnership over
God,
a
yeah.
1 minute video where they're like, I wanted to talk to you in person. It was the Sony Entertainment president, cute little guy speaking Japanese, and he announced that Sony is partnering with the newly reopened,
Newly freed.
yeah, Konami, wow, freed from
Kojima.
Kojima Productions.
Hideo Kojima. Yeah, so Konami actually officially released him.
Which we knew was going to happen. They said it was going to be December.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. We knew he was gone months and months and months
he was,
ago.
but they said he had a
Okay.
contract through December.
Right.
So
And so yeah, now he's gone. And in fact, I think it was, like we said, December 15th was end of his contract. And so December 16th, they announce, hey, we're taking him. So he's partnered with PlayStation. They're reopening Kojima Productions, which was, I guess, technically shut down by Konami.
they were just sitting there like,
Well, you said
Okay,
they
guys.
shuttered it. They shuttered it,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I think
he's like, okay, guys, let's just
not hard to bring
bide
them
our
all back.
time,
Yeah.
bide our time, create a cool logo, talk about potential, put our feelers out to see who's going to pick us up. And I mean, there's talk about like a new Silent Hills. There's talk about him partnering up again. And he wasn't just sitting there like, well, gotta wait till December because that's when Konami decides it doesn't want me to do anything. So
Well, he unfortunately he can't do another Silent Hill game, and he can't do another Metal Gear Solid game because Konami owns the rights to those titles.
But he was done.
Uh,
He was kind of done with that. In Silent Hills, you can just make any horror game.
sure, I think that's kind of the idea is he can still partner up with what's
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro and do a horror game. In fact, really, you could still do Silent Hill as it was, and not call it Silent Hills. Because as far as I know from Silent Hills, that didn't have anything to fucking do with Silent Hills, the game, the movie, like the series.
No, it
there,
had kind of. Yeah, I mean, it had like the location, I think, because when they showed him at the
it
end,
was
it was
in Silent Hill, but like.
Yeah. But
How much of
they
that
would.
can just be changed easily, you know?
Yeah, look at the trailer they did with the person in the hand and the kid with the ball that turns in the brain and like the crawling through the hallway to chase
Yeah,
you.
I didn't
You didn't
watch
watch
any
it?
of those.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
I
But
told you how I watched PT playthroughs, right? I would anyone with a face cam, I would scroll the video to where I could only see the face cam, and I would just watch that. And like 3/4 of the screen was a comment section because I couldn't watch the actual game. Same thing with Five Nights at Freddy's. I should reiterate this for our new listeners. I don't like horror games at all. I hate them. I don't like jump scares. I'm afraid. I'm a scaredy cat little bitch. And I don't care.
that's okay.
Yep.
So that was announced, and all we know is that they opened their doors today. He's happy to announce that they have a partnership. They're going to be making a new IP moving forward. We don't know what it's about. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's most likely it's either super awesome horror or super awesome kick-ass, whatever. And we're going to learn more details later. Like they released a press release on Kojima Productions. As of today, they announced that they are officially opening their doors. Led by award-winning game designer Kojima, the studio will begin focusing its efforts in developing products that will push the boundaries in innovation and ignite consumer interest worldwide. Stay tuned for future announcements.
Yes.
And their cool logo. The logo is by the guy that created the Metal Gear Solid art director.
Yeah.
So he's
I saw that.
so you know he's going to be a partner at this point. I'm looking at it right now. Camera. You know he's going to be a partner at this point because he's already doing the art, and I'm sure a lot of the same people from the studio are there, and a lot of people are coming back. Like, and they probably, I would assume, like, Kojima has a lot of things that were stewing in his head when he was restricted to Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hills. I'm sure he has a lot of interesting stories he can't wait to tell. And so I'm
sure.
excited to see.
Yeah.
Excited to see what he does.
I'm excited to see how PlayStation somehow breaks Kojima. There was a GIF I saw today of like different subtitles. It was like, oh, I look forward to creating really long thought out and planned games, and then it cuts to the Sony guy and he's like, oh, I look forward to you creating games, timeline based games on a budget. And I look forward to seeing what you do.
Right.
I'm like, that's great. They are going to clash so much.
I mean, in a similar, if you want to see what to expect in a similar production thing, Tomonobu Itagaki, who's the guy that created Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, he basically revitalized them. He left Tecmo and created his own development team, and now he's creating the upcoming game. See, I gotta remember what it's called. It's that new ninja game that kept being released. Ibu?
Yeah.
Or Hibu? I think it's...
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of separated from a very well-known product that he created with a big team, created his own studio. And if you want to look at the difference between Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden to this new franchise he created, he basically completely went in a whole direction and created this whole new concept. So it's really exciting to see how that's going to kind of impact Kojima in a really good way. So I don't know.
Totally unrelated to that. You know what game I completely forgot about that I haven't seen in a long time is Ninja Gaiden. I haven't seen, like, I remember playing that on the Xbox, and then I don't know why I thought of it, but I just Googled it.
It's Nioh. Nioh.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
the new
historical
one.
action role-playing game, but it's the one that, if you watch the videos, they showed it at E3.
Yeah, they
Really
also showed it at the
interesting.
PlayStation Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks exactly like Ninja Gaiden. That was the game I was actually trying to think of earlier.
Right. So,
But
the one
yeah,
that you were like, I can't remember the name.
yeah, there was a game that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot what it was, and something you said about Konami, like, or Kojima, kind of blasted
All
into
right,
my
well,
head.
talk about it now.
No, that was it. It looks
Oh,
like Ninja Gaiden, and
well,
it
there you
looks kind
go.
of fun.
It's by the guy from Ninja Gaiden. So,
It's Team Ninja, so it
mhm.
looks identical to Ninja Gaiden, but with samurais, I think. So,
Right.
anyways, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's
Uh,
okay. That's my point. I just wanted to bring up the point that it's a good thing. It's a good thing he's on his own. It may take some
yeah, it's
time
great.
for
Oh,
a
I'm
game
sure
to
we
come
won't
out.
see a game to come out from them for years. I would say.
But I mean, with PlayStation funding them,
I don't think it's about funding. I think it's Kojima's style is to really think and plan and take a long
right,
time
sure,
to do
and
to
really
do
add a
stuff.
lot of interesting details and make it so nothing's skipped out, no corners are cut.
Exactly. I can imagine with his with how much detail he put into the story of Metal Gear. Like I could not imagine what he would do with a free palette or with an open palette kind of thing. So that'll be interesting to see. I look forward to that.
All right, I
Um,
made a game 58409 because I realized we've been sitting here not playing a game, but we're on gaming talk shows, so it's no big deal.
yeah.
Um,
What
I
is it?
don't. What else is there to talk about?
What is it one more time?
58409. What do you think of the new Rocket League DLC? Or not
The
DLC,
ice
the special event?
the holiday pack is fucking awesome. I love the puck. We were playing that the other night, last night actually,
Mm-hmm.
2 nights ago, 2 nights ago. Uh,
Yeah, we were playing it
a
two
lot of
nights
fun.
ago because you were doing a video on it.
Yeah, that's right. It was a lot of fun. The ice is kind of a cool mode. It doesn't affect the cars at all. I would kind of wish to see somehow affect the cars, but
Like a little bit more of
um,
a skid, a slide.
yeah, like a little bit. But the puck idea is fucking hilarious, and it kind of changes that dynamic because it slides a lot more. So
It's
there's a spot.
fast.
It's
It's
faster. So like because it's sliding on the ice, there's a spot where the bank shot kind of thing where it goes around like the left and the right corners next to the goal. It like glides a lot better, so you can actually nail it along that wall and kind of drift it right in front of the net. It doesn't like bounce off because it's not a ball. It kind of like rolls with the corner
Were you
and puts
playing?
it in front of the net.
Were you playing when it went all the way on the ceiling?
Yeah, I just kind of like drifted for a while on
It
the
just wouldn't
ceiling.
stop, and we're sitting there
Yeah,
like, we're like, is it just in the air or is it actually on the
yeah, I couldn't tell.
ceiling?
Like it was just kind of going over the top.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
lot of fun. If you guys, there's exclusive content, exclusive unlockables through January 2nd. So the game mode and the unlockables are only available during the holiday season. So it's like a
yes,
limited edition, but it's not really limited. It's just you only have, you look like Santa.
that's
Um,
the idea.
you only have like this season, then you have to wait till next year.
Maybe. Did they say they're going to do it again? I don't know if that they.
They said they implied that there will be more holiday events, kind of like there's the Halloween one.
Yeah.
So something might be happening next year. We don't know if it's going to be more hockey or if it's going to. It most likely will be hockey. We don't know.
I really want them to keep hockey in like permanently.
Well,
I know like the holiday stuff is fine to like take out, but like they need to keep hockey in.
I figured
I
that was
think they should
probably
do
the
it.
case.
I think they should like somehow, I don't know how, partner with the NHL and put it and make it a like while hockey season is on kind of thing. But
I think they'll probably keep it. I mean, they said it was limited edition, but there's no way they wouldn't keep. It's
God,
like a
it's so much fun.
mutator. It's just a mutator.
Yeah,
May-
it's a really simple mutator.
yeah, and so they did acknowledge that it's going to be. Um,
Motherfuck that down smash. What the hell?
they implied it wasn't going to be. I'll let you know I was button smashing that entire
That's
time.
fine, but that was fucking awesome looking. Nailed me on that one.
Uh,
Sorry.
it's most like, and you got me back.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
I think
I'm
it'll stay. I think we might. Nice throw. You do realize there's a bit of a invisibility, invulnerability period, right?
Yeah, I know. I had a plan.
Um, so that happened. There's a few other holiday events. I believe it's unofficial, but I believe that we are going to see a Steam sale starting on the 22nd.
That is the rumor. It's either 22nd or the 24th, according to
On
different sources.
on average, it releases around the 20th of each year.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be sooner than later, but who knows?
According to the developers, like, group, I guess, on Steam, Steamworks developers, it's the 20. I've already forgot what the quote was. It might have been the 24th. No, it was the 22nd.
Yeah, they believe it's the 22nd because someone got like a press release, but The weird thing
it was on the developers group. Like, so developers knew, like, oh, this is when your game could be done, discounted.
Which makes me think that's why GTA 5 probably won't go on a sale for anything else. I mean, it dropped to 40%. I don't think it's gonna be cheaper during the holiday sale.
I think it'll be quote unquote cheaper with, like, like they pulled the bullshit they pulled last year of it's cheaper, but it's the same price, but you get shark cards or whatever. You get in-game money. I'm guessing
I don't
that's
really
what
care.
Yeah,
check my Steam. I'll check in a minute. It's because I was gonna pick it up, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
$34 isn't nothing.
I don't really play it because I don't have anyone to play with.
I want to start playing. I want to do cool stuff. I don't know.
I have no one to play with. So. Yeah, we can play.
Like, we have Justin now.
Yeah, it's just sitting around. It's collecting dust. I enjoy it. I modded the shit out of it for a little while on single player, but that's only so much fun.
I was playing Fallout earlier, and I was thinking about that. I know, segueing to Fallout. I've been using that trick with the carpet, and I was resetting my place, but I haven't really done a lot of exploring, so I have, like, very minimal ammo and very minimal steel, so I need to figure out what to do about that.
Minimal steel?
Yeah, I'm out of steel.
Oh, do you link up all your fucking places, right?
I linked up 2, and the 2 that I've linked up have no steel.
Dude, you need to link up all of them. Just.
Well, the problem is it doesn't really work with my controller.
You and I need to talk about, like, settlements, because I feel like an unbreakable system for settlements.
Okay.
Like, with resources. I run out of, like, the resources I use to upgrade my shit. I've never run out of a building resource.
Well, I ran out of steel in the place where I've cheated the system, and I'm going beyond the restricted amount of items you're allowed to have.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's why I have the issue. Because
No, I think you just need to, like, because if you disassemble, like, every bullshit thing in settlements, in, like, new settlements, you can never run out of steel.
Right, which I haven't really found any new settlements lately.
Oh, that's your problem. You gotta do that.
I know there's 30, but I've been chilling up north. I haven't even done Valentine's Quest yet, so.
You gotta talk to
Were we tied? We were tied.
Were we really? Wow.
Yeah, you got 2 points. I went down 1. Yeah.
I guess so.
All right, so you want to talk about your Fallout experience?
So here's where I'm at in Fallout right now. I am at a point where I'm in the I've completed one part of the game. I've completed the story once, one faction of it. So as a Fallout game, you can
What factions did you pick?
Here's the thing. I'm doing them all because
you can't
I want. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's a method that you.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, I did. You can. In the end of the, so I'm going to spoil a little bit at the end of the game. You, depending on what faction you pick, like, to beat the game, you have to destroy another faction. Yeah. It's kind of like Morrowindy a little bit.
Well, I mean, you always can keep the Minutemen. But
you always can keep the Minutemen.
Yeah, the other factions, it's like you pick another faction, you have one as an ally, and then one as an enemy, usually.
Right. Pretty much,
That's what I've read.
Basically, it is. You end up killing one of them one way or another. So I'm doing what I'm going to. I've made 3 saves. 3 saves. I'm going to beat the game with 3 of the factions, and the 4th one is the quote-unquote good ending that I've Googled, where you kind of do them in all the quests in a certain order, so you max out, like, your loyalty with each one, and then you do one of the factions' endings, and it ends the game, but none of the other factions are destroyed. So.
Okay. I mean, I haven't even gotten to Valentine yet, so I only have the Brotherhood and the Minutemen, and I haven't done the Minutemen's castle yet, so I'm kind of just doing their side quests.
There are 2 more. I won't.
I know who the 2. I researched it, so
it's hard not to spoil the game for everyone else. I don't want to, like, screw with them.
Yeah, there's 2 other ones you have to find. One through the story, and I know one I said right. You have to do a few certain side quests to unlock, so it's a little bit more underground. Yeah, the rail, the Institute is through the story. The rail is underneath, and obviously the Brotherhood of Steel is the pissy ones.
Railroad.
Yeah, I'm just saying the rail. I'm shortening.
Yeah, I know. Rail. I shorten it. You know, man.
That's why I said the Brotherhood. The rail.
My bros are in the RR.
The R, double R. What's up?
RR.
We're R's. R. Is that supposed to be like the railroad from?
R's.
Little R's. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, they're little tiny R's. They're just ones backwards. Little R's. Anyways, yeah. So I'm in the part right now where I've experienced one of the endings and it sucked. So I will not recommend doing one of them. I won't tell you which until, like, another month from now. And now I'm like going through and doing the other three, but it's like I'm in this like systematic grind mode now. I 100%ed the last two Fallout games, like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I have 100%ed on Steam or Microsoft, respectively. So now I'm in that mode where I'm like, all right, what do I got to do to 100% this game? And it's just tedious now doing all the missions that I've already done.
Oh.
Like,
So you're
there's
gonna
a
start
couple of
over?
them. No, a couple of them overlap towards the end. And I know I'm gonna have to do most of them over again anyways when I do my good ending. But it's just like, all right, I gotta go. Oh, here's this mission from the other faction. Now, like, here's the other end of it, and kind of shit like that. So it's getting a little like grindy at this point. But I'm looking forward to modding that game heavily. It's like the same thing with Skyrim. Like, I remember beating the game, beating the DLC, like really beating the game, and saying, all right, what can I mod? And like, let me download every mod that I possibly can, and fuck with the game. So are you going to use any upcoming mods for Fallout? Yes, Captain Amazing. That's what I just said. I'm gonna mod
No,
the
that's an
fuck out of
old
that game.
message. That was at 9:07. It's 9:12
Oh, I'm
now.
sorry. I don't have. Oh wow.
Don't
Sorry.
be a
I don't
dick.
have. I don't have the timing. No, I looked over at the chat and I caught it. It was like exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's my Fallout status.
I started doing the Nathan Valentine mission. I took a break from Fallout for a while, and now I'm back and I'm playing a little bit more. I got a little burnt out, I think, because I did a lot of stuff, and then I started losing all of my ammo, and it upset me because I didn't have ammo. So I had to figure out a better way to deal with it, and my controller isn't working. There you go.
Yeah, mine's been.
So I'm now back into it. I'm kind of doing quests. I like setting up bases completely, though. I know it's not the point of the game, but I like having nice bases. So we'll see what happens. How long
I've been
that
like,
lasts.
the second I get to a base, I build. If I make a mod for it, bacon plants thing. Yeah, I will not be able to make a mod. I'm bad at making mods. Yeah, every time I get a settlement, because I end up getting suckered into doing all the Minutemen quests the second I get them because I'm weird like that. I set up the radio beacon, a generator, a radio beacon, and I get one follower and I send him the fuck to the other settlement, like as a supply line, so I connect everything immediately.
The frustrating thing about that is that using the controller, there was a glitch where I couldn't do that, so I had to use it mouse and keyboard. Oh, you're frozen. Okay, that's awkward. I forgot about that. If I minimize it, it freezes. Thank you. It was a nice freeze for me,
look
too.
at my tongue sticking out too like an idiot. Great. So yeah.
I'd say you're cool if you have Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite Fallout games. And I think that's what a lot of people were upset about with Fallout 4 is it's not Fallout New Vegas. It's not a sequel to New Vegas. It's a sequel to Fallout 3. It's a very linear story where you have to complete the game in a certain way, and you can't play it story-wise the same as
New Vegas?
As New Vegas. New Vegas, you could kind of pick like one of 7 different endings or something.
Wasn't it? So New Vegas was more of the, hey, you like factions? Let's give you factions. That's what it seems like to me.
It was a expansion of the system of Fallout 3 of factions and alliances and loyalty. And it took that to an extreme of, all right, now how do you want to play this game? You know, if you want to play it all for yourself and all that kind of thing, you can play it all for yourself and play it with Yes Man or Mr. House, or you could join the factions and play their ending.
Yeah, because I noticed that too immediately. I saw the whole, instead of your companions remembering, it's like everything you do will impact your factions, and I'm like, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
that's Fallout 4 isn't as much pressure as that as I read, because I went from New Vegas a little bit to Fallout 4, and I was like, oh crap, should I even start the Brotherhood of Steel? Is that going to cancel out anything I do with the Minutemen? And it's like, no, you can go to a point.
To a point, and then it will at the very end. But when you think about Fallout,
you, won't it?
Yeah, it does. It says you are about to become enemies with this. If you move forward, if you get on this ship or you go through this teleporter, you will become enemies with this faction. Are you sure you want to continue?
Right.
You can say, nope, I will wait. But if you look at Fallout 3 story, to complete the story, you had to join the Brotherhood of Steel. You had to destroy the Enclave. You had to interact with certain factions and certain groups. to complete the story, and they didn't give you a choice. And Fallout 4 kind of makes you do that with the story, but it gives you at least the option of picking your path of a couple different options. You know, you can go to the Railroad to help. You can go to the Minutemen for help, or you can go to the Brotherhood for help. You can help whoever you want. At the end of the day, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to pick one of these factions, but they at least give you more choice than Fallout 3.
And you can go far into it. From what I can see, you can go pretty far and establish a lot of stuff. Like, for example, the Minutemen, I'm at the castle mission, whatever. I'm assuming that's not going to cut me off. So it's like,
oh God, no! You've got to. That's
Yeah.
castle mission's one of the first missions for them.
right.
And
Well, no, it's their first
couple-
major
couple.
mission, but I've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of side quests. So it's
Yeah.
like, even that, it's like, okay, the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm most likely, I haven't gotten far enough yet. I most likely will get power armor from them. I'll most likely get this advantage for them before I start impacting it.
What's weird with the Brotherhood, and it's different from the other games, is you had to be taught how to wear power armor in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. And so it's kind of weird in this game where you get power armor in the first 5 minutes of the game. Like in the first mission of the game, you get power armor. So the Brotherhood of Steel, like the allure to joining the Brotherhood of Steel is gone. I get to wear power armor.
And they give you a sick gun when you first
do-
help them. Like, you're not even
They
part
do
of the
give you a
Brotherhood of
pretty
Steel.
cool laser rifle.
Like,
Yeah.
here's this gun. Thanks for your help.
Fury.
Come join it. And you're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
or the Righteous Authority.
Yeah.
Righteous Authority is the gun. Yeah, it's a pretty good gun. But but it's just another faction, and I will have to. Well, fuck it, I'm gonna spoil it. Brotherhood ending is shit. I don't like the Brotherhood by the end of the game.
I think if I had to choose anyone, I would not choose them. I don't know anything about the Railroad or whatever, but the Railroad seems the most interesting plot wise because everyone. I mean, it's the three factions. Is Brotherhood hates super mutants and synths.
Yeah.
Institute loves synths. Or
Railroad
Institute
loves
wants to
synths.
control synths. Railroad wants to free the synths.
Yeah.
And it seems like the most interesting because the world you're filled in, everyone has this fear of synths. So the
Yeah.
Railroad seems like the little guys, the scapegoats, kind of like Minutemen.
Pretty
Also, is like
much.
for the people. And like there's this one quest where you have to sit there and save this girl, and they're like, "No, it's a synth. We're gonna test her." And like I saved her. I'm spoiling a part, so I apologize.
It does. The game's been out for long.
Right, but like then I read up on it where I was like, okay, I saved her. I hope I don't regret this because they're like, yeah, she could be a synth, and you save her. And then I read up, it was like, if you killed her, you would have seen proof that she was a synth. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's just the synth stuff is just really, really interesting, and I think I would have more fun being like, let's save them, kind of like the ghouls. Let's save them, you know.
Right. Yeah. Totally. And the Minutemen kind of had the Minutemen have a really shitty story. I mean, they're there as like the cop out. I feel like of like, oh, I don't want to like kill anybody or do anything. Like, I'm just gonna stick with the Minutemen.
Well, the Minutemen they're just the support.
They're
Like,
they're all about the Commonwealth.
They're
All
nothing.
about helping everybody.
they're on your side no matter what. Like you're never gonna piss off the Minutemen, from what I read. Whereas any other group, you're gonna piss them off. So,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah, and I
choose.
think-
You can choose like the Railroad and still have the Minutemen.
And I think you end up killing a faction when you do the Minutemen, but I don't know what. I haven't
Yeah.
really. I haven't got that's my good ending one
Oh.
with the Minutemen.
So okay, that's Fallout. That's fun Fallout
That's
talk.
Fallout talk.
We're getting close to our wrap up time.
Yeah.
Been an hour and 15 minutes. So is
Yeah.
there anything else in terms of news?
News. Let me see. I'm trying to run through the dailies and things in my head that we've done. If there's anything that stood out.
I got a new mechanical keyboard and it's broken,
I can hear it.
so I have to send it back. I
That
got
I
brown
can
keys.
hear
It's
it.
really quiet. The period button doesn't work. Out of
That's
the
weird.
box, no period.
Sounds
like-
like a good deal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very
Um,
upset about it.
What? The Jack the Ripper DLC it released for Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
What about that game that released that the original creator didn't even know it was announced? That news you covered on Monday. The game was announced, and then the original guy who made the original game was like,
No, he knew it was coming. Oh, System Shock. System
Yeah.
Shock 3 got announced in the last week and a half. System Shock 3 is the sequel to System Shock 2. Is a huge PC game. It's one of the revolutionary RPG games that kind of redefined what sci-fi RPGs were. It led to the first one was developed by Looking Glass, and the second one was developed by Looking Glass and Irrational Games. Irrational Games ended up going on to make BioShock, which was a kind of a spiritual successor to the System Shock series. They weren't connected, but they were spiritual successors. The BioShock franchise, and yeah, after a number of years, a new developer, I think Other Side is their name, picked up the production of System Shock 3. So they're developing System Shock 3, and Ken Levine, the president, I guess, or director of Irrational Games, or what was formerly Irrational Games, who helped create the System Shock 2, put out an announcement of like, oh wow, I'm really excited for this game to come out. System Shock 2 is a special place in our hearts, both as, one of the first games I released and one of the first games that he released, and it went on to build his franchise and build his company at Irrational as the BioShock developers. So he had a kind of a cool little send-off to it, and wished him luck and all that thing, and he kind of hinted that the company formerly known as Irrational Games is working on another sci-fi RPG type game along the same vein as System Shock 3. So that'll be kind of cool. Irrational Games shuttered last year, 2 years ago, after releasing BioShock Infinite and its DLC. They shut down their company in Boston. Actually, they were like 20 minutes away from me, the south side of Boston. So they shuttered, and they've since I guess reopened, and they're hiring again for this new game, but they haven't announced like what their company's called now, or really what they're even doing. Ken Levine kind of like said fuck off, and we're gonna do something crazy and different now, and didn't really, kind of left everyone out.
So we'll kind of finish up, I guess, with the whole, since we're already on the topic, the report of the new offices that opened up. Bethesda opened up a new office.
Bethesda opened up a new office in Montreal, and who else just released one the next day? Gearbox. Gearbox also is opening, and of course Ubisoft is big there in Montreal, and I think there's another big thing in Montreal as well.
Bethesda, the first question is, what game are they producing in this office? Because that's what people assume. They assume that, new office means new game, new IP, or
it's
like
very possible.
Yeah, it's very possible they could be doing an Elder Scrolls thing. It's very possible they could be doing a new original IP. It's definitely, they have a lot of major offices, and usually each office produces a game. That's how it works. Like the Battleborn office down in Texas produces a certain game, like so on and so forth. So right.
Yeah, I mean, like look at Ubisoft, who has, they're different, or 2K, whose different offices are doing different kind of franchises.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, instead of expanding their main office, it's definitely strategic. So,
and so I don't know what Bethesda Montreal or Gearbox Montreal have been working on. I would imagine that someone with Gearbox is going to start working on Borderlands 3. They've already announced it. I know they're working on Battleborn. Yeah, Battleborn, but that's pretty close to release. That's also out in, I think, February or spring.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know about Bethesda, because it's like they have time. They waited long enough for Fallout 4. They can wait for another Elder Scrolls. There's no rush for them, because whenever they release it, people are going to love it.
Right. Well, potentially Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe a new game system, a game engine.
Could be. Thanks for inviting me to a game, by the way.
Yeah, well, you were just sitting there, and you were in the lobby and didn't select okay, so I'm just playing against bots.
Oh, all right.
But then
I just looked over and I see like the game's actually playing. Like, oh fuck.
But then you have in retrospect, like the Gigantic game, the new MOBA. They actually ended up delaying the game and laying off some people.
They pushed into 16, and with them being like a brand new startup, they had to let some people go. Which is unfortunate, but they had to push their game, and that's what happens with startups. They
didn't budget for that extra time.
Yep. So that's risk and ops for you. So that's unfortunate. What else? Fable Legends got pushed to 2016.
Another one got pushed to 2016, didn't it? Another one got pushed later.
I know Fable Legends was the one I just covered, but they were supposed to have their open beta in 2015, and it pushed back with
Doom.
Did
Doom get pushed?
I don't
know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Remember.
Probably not.
But yeah, so Fable Legends is like the cross-platform Xbox and and Xbox and PC game. It's more of like a mix of RTS and RPG. What else? Oh, the big Halo 5 update just dropped with Forge, the cartographer's gift. Um,
And then another update dropped today as well.
oh,
Um,
and Riot Games just got sold.
oh,
Tencent Games just acquired a majority stake in Riot.
that's weird.
Well, they acquired them in 2011, but has now snapped up the remainder of the developer's equity. So now League of Legends is owned by a Chinese publisher. That's pretty much the majority of the news that I got. You got anything else? You got any cool stuff? Pokken Tournament is getting a special Wii U controller.
Pokken.
Whatever.
It's Pokemon. Pokken. The new Water Fire Legendary release or announced,
Yeah.
which is the first in the franchise. A lot of people are excited about that. Otherwise, keep an eye out for sales. It's the holiday season. A lot of big sales go out. Game Over.
Yep.
Our Greenman GMG does a lot of sales. Humble Bundle does a lot of sales. Humble Store, Steam sales going to be coming up soon. Lots of sales, lots of excitement.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it. That's about all I got for this week. I know after we're going to be back at you on the 30th.
Yep.
Just in time for New Year's.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing, but we'll talk about something. I don't know what'll happen in a week and a half when everyone's gone, but
probably talk about holiday stuff.
Yeah.
Play some Rust
Probably.
or something.
We are gonna play some Rust, I think. Yeah, you're still streaming. Are you streaming next week? Are you doing stuff next week?
Yeah,
I
got
Are you
nothing.
taking the week off?
I don't have time off, and I'm Jewish. The only thing
Well,
I'll be
right.
doing on Christmas is Chinese food and a movie. Maybe Star
Nice.
Wars. Maybe go see Star Wars next week.
I'm
Christmas.
going tomorrow night, actually.
I am seeing
I
my Twitter
sniped
feed
some-
blow up.
I sniped some tickets. I had the movie spoiled for me on Reddit. I told you this earlier, but
What time are you going tomorrow?
10:30?
Okay, so you can still do the daily.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it early. I'm gonna do it early. Yeah, I have the week after Christmas off, so I'm gonna do a bunch of streaming that week. So if people want to watch me, you should follow me on Twitch.
Must be nice having time off.
It is. The company shut down for a week, so that's pretty cool.
Did you get paid for it?
Yeah, it's paid time off. It's
That's
free time
always
off.
good.
Company shut down. So that'll be cool. I'm gonna play through all of Psychonauts. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, so that'll be something you guys can watch. So yeah, that's it for us. If you are watching us live, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/glitchfeed, and follow us on Twitter at GlitchFeed. You can follow me at T_Fario. You can follow Sarah at the Elise on Twitter. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to us on Twitch so you can watch us live rather than watching this late on YouTube. But that is it for this week. For the GlitchFeed podcast, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back, like Sarah said, in 2 weeks with another GlitchFeed Live.
So thanks, guys, as always.
Yeah.
If you like what you see, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. We love that feedback. Share it with your friends. Retweet and love us. It's great. Just hand us all this cool stuff. And
Yeah.
we'll hopefully
And we'll keep handing you the news.
We'll hand you the news. Maybe more, maybe less. Who knows? Who knows?
Probably more. I feel like.
Probably more. All right. Thanks, guys, as always, for watching. And we will see you tomorrow for another Daily Glitch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.